The sky had been calm just a moment ago. Now it was cracking open like glass. Bright yellow lights tore through the clouds, dropping down like falling stars. Jared, a young technician stationed at a remote space outpost on planet Orius 7, barely had time to shield his eyes before the sound hit an angry, buzzing roar that shook the ground beneath his feet. He stood frozen, staring into the sky. What came next didn't look like ships. It looked alive, massive black and gold creatures, with shimmering wings and glowing eyes descended from the clouds. They weren't machines. They were aliens, giant bee-like beings, fast and terrifying. One of them hovered just above the watchtower. Jared could see the shine of its armor, the sharpness of its limbs, and the fury in its glowing eyes. Then, everything went dark. When Jared woke up, he wasn't on the outpost anymore. The walls were warm and golden, pulsing with light. Strange buzzing echoed all around him, like thousands of wings beating together. He was lying on something soft and sticky, a platform of glowing honeycomb. His arms were strapped gently by threads, not tight, but firm enough to hold him. Looked up and saw her. She was tall, radiant, and not quite human. Her skin gleamed like polished amber, covered in patterns of black and gold. Her wings were folded behind her, transparent and veined like glass. Two long antennae danced gently above her forehead. But it was her eyes that stunned him. They were sharp and intelligent. Not hostile, curious. Jared gasped and tried to move back, but she stepped closer, kneeling beside him. "You are unharmed," she said softly. Her voice was musical, like wind moving through chimes. "What are you?" he asked, breathing hard. "Where am I?" "I am Queen Zara," she said. "You are in my hive." He looked around in panic. The walls stretched upward, alive with movement. Other bee-like aliens flew around, tending to cells and glowing orbs. Jared realized this place was not made of stone or metal. It was grown. Zara raised a hand to silence his fear. "We are not here to hurt you. We are at war. But you are different. Your DNA was marked during your time on this planet. You breathed in our spores," he frowned. "Spores?" She nodded slowly. "It means you are compatible." "Compatible with what?" he asked, his voice shaky. "With us," she replied. "With me?" Jared's heartbeat spiked. "I don't understand. Why bring me here?" She touched his chest gently, and warmth spread through him like a drug. "Because you may help our future. Our kind is dying. We need new seed, strong seed. From the ones the old stars once whispered about, from humans." He tried to push her hand away, but he was weak, dizzy. "This is crazy. I'm not some breeding tool." Zara tilted her head. "You are not a prisoner. You are honored. You were chosen. You will help birth a new generation, or you are free to leave." Her words sounded peaceful, but the buzzing in the walls told another story. Something about this hive felt alive, hungry, watching. Even if he wanted to leave, could he? Could anyone really escape a place that breathes like a living thing? He looked into Zara's eyes again, and this time he saw more than alien beauty. He saw desperation. Maybe even hope. The war he'd seen in the sky wasn't just about territory. It was survival. Before he could answer, a loud vibration pulsed through the hive. The walls rippled. Zara stood up quickly, her wings flicking open. "They found us," she said, voice sharper. "Now the hunters. You must stay hidden. If they catch you now, you won't survive." She reached down and lifted Jared into her arms like he weighed nothing. His body trembled, his mind racing. He wanted to scream, but the warmth of her skin against his own made it hard to feel fear. It felt safe. As she carried him deeper into the hive, he realized he had stepped into something far bigger than he could ever imagine, and something told him his choice was no longer just his own. Jared's breath caught in his throat as the hive shook. Again, the glowing walls pulsed like a heartbeat. and the humming around him turned sharp like a swarm, preparing to defend itself. Queen Zara moved fast, her wings fluttering as she carried him down a tunnel lit with soft golden light. The air was thick with warmth and a strange sweetness like honey mixed with electricity. Jared could hear other bees, now guards, flying past, shouting in a language he couldn't understand. "Where are we going?" he asked, gripping her shoulder. "Somewhere." "Safe," she said without looking at him. "You must be protected. They will come for you first." He blinked in confusion. "Why me?" She glanced down. "Because you're human. Because you're rare." Before he could ask more, they entered a large chamber. It was round and glowing, filled with massive golden pods hanging from the ceiling like sleeping sacks. In the center was a pool of thick, golden fluid, bubbling gently. It looked alive. Zara set him down carefully. The soft floor moved slightly under his feet, like skin. Jared almost stumbled, but she caught his arm. "This is the birth-in chamber," she said. He stepped back. "Wait, what?" "You said I had a choice," she nodded. "You do. But if you stay here, this is where it begins. Not with force, with understanding." Jared looked around, heart pounding. "You keep saying I'm compatible. What does that even mean?" Zara walked slowly to the pool, dipping her fingers into the golden liquid. "Our kind cannot reproduce anymore. The old queens are gone. The genetic link is broken. But your body, your blood responds to our spores. It has something we lost long ago." He crossed his arms tightly. "And you think I can just fix that?" She nodded. "Not alone, but with me. We blend, we bond, we create." Jared rubbed his temples. "This is insane. I fix satellite towers. I'm not special." She approached again, her golden eyes softened. "I know this is frightening. But you were not taken as a tool. You were chosen as a chance. I saw your memories while you slept. You were kind, brave. You didn't run when the swarm came. You protected others." His voice lowered, "And they died." She touched his chest. Again, gently. "They died in war. You survived. And now you may help prevent more death." The hive suddenly shook harder. Outside the chamber, loud sounds erupted, explosions, screams. Jared's head turned. "Is that them? The hunters?" Zara's wings lifted halfway. "Yes, they are close. They take queens, destroy hives, harvest our bodies for weapons and trade. They are not like you." The chamber doors closed with a thick seal, and soft light covered them. Jared backed into the wall. "Then let me go. I can't help fight your war." "You won't fight," she said softly. "You will awaken something new." She walked to a control panel on the side and pressed her hand into it. A pod opened nearby with a wet hiss. Inside was another bee being, but smaller, barely formed, sleeping. Jared stared. "That's one." "Of yours?" She nodded. "One of the last." He walked to the edge of the pool and looked down. The glowing fluid reflected his face, but not just his face. He saw her standing behind him, and behind her, the whole hive, alive, connected, needing him. He wanted to run, but something rooted him. Not fear, not even curiosity. It was the strange feeling of being wanted, not as prey, not as property, but as hope. Zara stepped beside him. "If you say no, I will fly you back myself. But if you say yes, we begin now, before it's too late." The Kundio chamber trembled again, dust falling from the ceiling. Jared looked at the entrance. He could hear metal boots now. The hunters had entered the hive. He looked at her again. He didn't understand everything. Maybe he didn't need to, but he knew this much: the world he once knew was gone. This place, this queen, this hive. It was his world now. And if his blood could stop this war, maybe it was worth it. He took a deep breath. "I'll stay." Zara placed her hand over his heart and smiled, soft, proud, almost human. Asterisk. Jared barely had time to catch his breath after saying yes. The chamber lights dimmed, and the floor pulsed beneath him like a heartbeat. Queen Zara turned away from the entrance and moved toward a tall crystal-like pillar in the center of the Hive room. She placed her palm against it. The pillar lit up, casting golden waves across the walls. From hidden panels, thin strands of glowing silk rose like steam, floating in the air and circling Jared gently. They didn't bind him. Instead, they felt warm and soft like they were reading him. His heart pounded. What is this? Zara's voice was calm, but there was a deep power in it. It is the bridge. It connects your energy to ours. You must be known to the Hive, every part of you. Jared's skin tingled. The silk strands brushed his arms, face, and chest. He saw flashes in his mind memories. His home on Earth. Space outpost. His crew. Laughter. Fire. Screams. Then it changed. The Hive, Zara's face. Her sadness. Her strength. The connection wasn't just scanning him. It was showing him her. Everything she had endured, the loss of her sisters, the death of the old queen, the fall of their last colony, the endless war. Jared gasped as the emotions flooded in. Loneliness, duty, hope. And then, peace. When the strands vanished, he staggered. Zara caught him before he could fall. You saw it, she said quietly. He nodded, eyes wide. All of it. She gently helped him to a seat near the golden pool. Now you understand. I never meant to trap you. I needed you to see us. Outside, the Hive trembled again. This time it wasn't just distant. It was close. A guard burst into the chamber, armor cracked and wings frayed. My queen! The guard cried. The hunters are breaching the lower combs. They've released the smoke. Zara's face went still. How far? 3 chambers away. They're cutting through with heat lances. Jared stood up. Smoke? The guard coughed. Toxic fog. Kills larvae. Weakens Hive minds. Zara looked at Jared. They want to erase us. Burn the future. Before it begins. Jared felt something rising inside him. Not fear, but fire. Then let's not give them that chance. Zara tilted her head. You are not a warrior. No, he said. But I know how to think like one. He turned to the crystal pillar. You said it connects energy. Can it carry signals? Commands? Zara blinked. Yes, why? Then link it to your guards. I've worked with neurocoms before. If your Hive soldiers can receive orders through this, I can guide them. She hesitated. You trust yourself with our network? He stepped forward. I trust you. Now let me help. For a moment, the queen didn't move. Then she pressed her hand to the pillar again, deeper this time. The structure hummed, and golden lines reached toward Jared like veins. He grabbed the sides of the pillar. A sharp jolt hit him, then, suddenly, he was everywhere. He could feel the positions of the guards, the damaged corridors, the heat rising from the hunters' machines. It was like playing a giant 3D game, but the lives were real. He focused, heart pounding. Block chamber D14, he said aloud. Reroute ventilation to push smoke back. Collapse passage C9 behind them. Trap them in. Zara's eyes widened. The guards responded instantly, shifting their movements as if they were one mind. Within seconds, the sound of battle shifted less. Chaos, more control. You're guiding them, she whispered. I'm used to fixing things, Jared said, sweat dripping from his brow. Doesn't matter if it's a tower or a hive. Suddenly, the floor shook again. One of the chamber doors exploded inward. Smoke poured in, and behind it, a figure stepped through, not a bee. Not a man, a hunter. Tall, armored, eyes glowing. Red under his helmet. He raised his weapon, aiming directly at Zara. Jared didn't think. He moved. He threw himself between her and the hunter. Just as the blast fired, it hit him in the chest. He dropped hard, Zara screamed, her wings bursting open in a thunderclap. Guards swarmed the intruder, taking him down in seconds. But she didn't see them. She only saw Jared on the floor, barely breathing. She dropped to her knees, lifting him gently. His shirt was burned. His chest was scorched. He looked up at her, coughing. "Guess I'm part of the Hive now, huh?" Her hand shook as she held his. "You are more than that." And then her eyes glowed, not gold, white. Something was awakening. Inside both of them. Jared drifted in and out of darkness. His body felt heavy, like he was sinking in warm honey. He heard voices, but they were far away, echoing like whispers inside a cave. One voice was louder than the others, softer, warmer. "Stay with me, please." He opened his eyes slowly. Golden light surrounded him. His chest ached, but the pain had dulled into a strange warmth. He realized he was no longer lying on the cold floor of the chamber. He was floating in the glowing pool. Zara was kneeling beside it, her hand resting gently on the surface near his heart. Her wings were still, her eyes full of worry. "You should be dead," she whispered. "I feel weird," Jared said, his voice rough. "The Hive saved you," she explained. "You were dying. But when I touched you, it reacted. It opened a path." He tried to sit up, but his body protested. "What path?" Zara helped him gently, her touch careful. "The ancient bond. The queens of the past could only create new life when joined with a mind that matched their heart. It hasn't happened in generations." Jared blinked slowly. "So what are you saying?" She looked into his eyes. "You are not just compatible, you're connected, truly." He didn't know what to say. His chest still throbbed, but the pain was fading. The fluid around him sparkled, almost singing softly in his ears. The entire chamber felt alive, reacting to his heartbeat. Zara looked away for a moment. "The Hive is changing. It feels you. It listens to you. The young one's in. The chambers are stirring." Jared stared at her. "Because of me. Because of us," she said. Suddenly, the ground trembled again. Not from an explosion, but something deeper. A hum filled the air, rising in pitch. Zara stood up sharply. "That's not the hunters, that's the emergency call." "What does it mean?" Jared asked, rising with effort. "It means the Queen must answer, or the Hive will collapse. The swarm mind will lose control." "Can't you answer it?" he asked. "I can only activate it if I complete the bond. If I am fully accepted. As Queen, as Mother." Jared's breath caught. "You mean now?" She stepped forward, her voice low. "I will not force you. But if you accept, the Hive will stabilize. The war might shift, the future can begin." Jared's hands trembled. "I don't know how. I don't even know what I'm doing here." Zara placed her forehead against his. "You cared when you didn't have to. You stayed when you could have run. That is enough." For a moment, time stopped. Then Jared reached out slowly and took her hand. "I'm with you." The pool glowed brighter, and the golden silk strands returned, wrapping gently around both of them. The hum in the air deepened, resonating in their bones. The walls of the chamber shifted, expanding like lungs taking in new breath. Outside, the guards stopped. The worker bees turned their heads. Even the larvae in the pod stirred. Every living thing in the Hive felt it, the link. A new voice had joined their song. A human voice. The bond was complete. Zara's body shimmered with radiant light, her eyes glowing brighter than before. Her antennae rose high, wings spread wide. She looked stronger, alive in a way Jared had never seen. He too felt it. Energy surged through him, not just healing, but strength, purpose. He didn't feel lost anymore. He felt chosen. Suddenly, a communication thread activated beside them. A soldier appeared, her voice filled with panic. "My queen!" An entire wall collapsed near the hatchery. 3 hunters got in. They're heading for the core chamber. Zara turned to Jared. They want the swarm mind crystal. If they destroy that, the hive dies. He nodded. Then we don't let them. Zara summoned her guards. Take him to the tower chamber. He knows the paths better than anyone now. Let him guide the defense. The soldier bowed and reached for Jared. But Zara grabbed his arm one last time. You're not just part of this hive, Jared. You are the hive. He squeezed her hand, then ran with the guards. Strength returning to his legs with every step. The queen rose high into the air, surrounded by her sisters, her voice echoing through the hive. For the first time in generations, a queen and her chosen were one, and the hive would fight for its future. Jared ran through the glowing hive tunnels with 2 armored bee guards beside him. The air was thick with energy, every wall vibrating like it was alive. The golden lights pulsed in rhythm with his heart. The hive wasn't just a structure anymore, it was connected to him, and he could feel its fear. They were close to the core chamber now. That was where the swarm mind crystal was hidden, the heart of the entire colony. If the hunters destroyed it, the hive would fall apart instantly. Every bee, every chamber, every unborn life would be lost. As they turned a corner, Jared stopped suddenly. The air ahead was different cold. He raised his hand. The guards froze. Trap, Jared whispered. He crouched low and touched the floor. The glow beneath his fingers dimmed. Something was blocking the hive's energy here. Interference. He looked up and saw it. A black metal sphere attached to the wall. A disruptor. They're trying to cut the hive from itself, he said. They're isolating the swarm mind. One of the guards hissed, then stepped forward and slammed her staff into the sphere. It sparked and exploded. The hallway lights instantly brightened. The hive's voice came rushing back into Jared's mind like a wave. Good, he said, breathing harder. Let's move. They reached the core chamber door, but it was already damaged. Blaster marks scorched the edges, and the smell of smoke filled the air. Jared pushed the doors open, heart racing. Inside, the swarm mind crystal floated at the pio center, tall, glowing, humming with power. And around it stood 3 hunters, tall, cold, armored in matte black, their helmets smooth like the face of death. One of them was planting an explosive at the base of the crystal. Jared didn't think. He grabbed the shock blade from the guard beside him and charged. The hunter saw him too late. Jared slashed at his arm, sending the explosive skidding across the floor. The guard behind him leapt and pinned another hunter down with a sharp strike from her staff. The 3rd hunter fired a pulse blast that threw Jared against the wall. His head rang. Blood ran down his forehead. The hive screamed in his mind, warning, protecting, guiding. Zara's voice echoed across the connection. Jared, stay with me. We're coming. He blinked through the haze, struggling to stand. The last hunter stepped toward him, weapon raised. Suddenly, a wall of light burst through the chamber ceiling. Zara descended like a goddess of fire and gold, her wings wide, her eyes glowing with fury. She hit the hunter with a force that shattered his armor. The remaining 2 tried to run, but the guards swarmed them, stingers sharp and fast. Jared stumbled forward. The crystal, is it okay? Zara landed beside it, inspecting it carefully. Then she looked at him and smiled. Still whole, like you. He smiled back weakly. Barely. She touched his face, healing warmth flowing into him again. The hive sings for you. More bees entered the chamber, now workers, soldiers, even the younglings from the side pods. They all looked at Jared, not with confusion or fear, but with respect. He turned to Zara. They can hear me? Yes, she said. You are part of the mind now, not just a partner. A guardian. He looked at the swarm mind crystal, still glowing strong. I'm not a warrior, I never was. You are now, Zara said softly. Suddenly the chamber shifted. A deep, slow tremor moved through the hive, not from an attack, but from within, Zara's. Wings twitched. The hive is changing, Jared turned. The swarm mind crystal was growing brighter. Threads of light stretched from it, toward the sleeping pods on the far wall. The larvae, Zara gasped. They're awakening, the energy from their bond. It had triggered a chain reaction. The unborn generation was beginning to stir. Jared stepped back, eyes wide. It's working. They're alive. Zara knelt beside the nearest pod. Placing her hand on it, it pulsed gently. A soft glow inside began to move. We were dying, she whispered. And now we're not. Jared looked at the crystal, the workers, the children waking. Then he looked at her. Then let's make sure they have a future. She smiled, and her wings folded gently. You've given us more than hope, she said. You've given us life. As the hive echoed with new energy, Jared stood beside the queen, no longer just a visitor from another species, no longer just a lost human. He was part of something ancient, something powerful. And the final chapter was still to come. Asterisk. The hive was changing faster than anyone expected. Golden tunnels expanded on their own, glowing brighter. New chambers opened. Fresh air flowed from deep vents as if the hive itself was breathing with new lungs. The larvae, once silent and still, were now glowing with life, their tiny forms stirring inside their pods. Jared stood in the center of it all, feeling every vibration through his skin. The swarm mind whispered in his mind, constantly soft. Voices, questions, warmth. They weren't just drones. They were people, children, a family being born. Zara stood beside him, her wings folded gently, eyes full of light. She looked tired but peaceful. Her voice was soft. They are waking. A new generation. He nodded. And it's because of you. She turned to him. Because of us. The hive has chosen you. Jared took a slow breath. What does that mean now? Am I a father to them? Zara smiled. Not just a father, a guardian. A leader. You helped create more than life, you brought purpose. He looked around. Guards bowed when they passed. Workers greeted him with light touches on the arm. Even the smallest of the new younglings turned their tiny glowing eyes toward him like they already knew his name. Zara stepped forward, her antennae gently brushing his forehead. The hive wants to honor you. You gave your life once, and the hive gave it back. He raised an eyebrow. How do you honor someone in a hive? She held out a golden chestplate, lightweight, shaped like honeycomb armor, glowing with gentle threads of energy. With this, symbol of the chosen. Jared hesitated, then slowly took it and placed it over his chest. As soon as it clicked into place, a pulse of golden energy flowed through him. He didn't just wear the hive now, he was part of it. But peace didn't last long. A new signal pulsed through the crystal. A warning. Zara turned to the hive walls, listening. Her wings flared open slightly. A new ship has entered the atmosphere, she said. It's not hunters, it's human. Jared stiffened. Human? Earth Command? Too far to be sure, she replied. But it's not a threat yet. They're scanning, watching. He frowned. They might be coming for me. Zara stepped closer. Do you want to go back? He paused. I don't know. That world I came from, it's not the same anymore. I've changed. This place, these people, they're mine now. She looked into his eyes. Then stay. He held her gaze. I want to, but if it is Earth Command, they'll want answers. They'll see a hive, not a home. They'll see you as a queen, not a mother. Zara's face turned serious. Then, they must see the truth, and they must see it through you. He nodded. I'll speak for the hive if they land. I'll be the first they meet. And I'll be by your side, she said. Later, when the human ship finally touched down, near the surface entrance of the hive, Jared stood at the gateway, his armor glowing, Zara beside him. The two of them were a symbol, not just of survival, but of alliance. A human officer stepped forward, his suit marked with Earth insignia. His face was cautious. "Jared Thorne?" the officer asked. "We received a distress signal months ago. We thought you were dead." Jared stepped forward. "I was nearly, but something greater found me. Something worth protecting." The officer glanced around at the strange glowing hive. "What is this place?" "A future," Jared said. "And not just theirs, ours too." When the officer hesitated, unsure, Zara raised her hand. A small bee larva peeked from behind. Her leg, soft, curious, innocent. The officer stared, confused but no longer afraid. "You're not prisoners?" he asked. Jared shook his head. "No, I'm home." The silence that followed was full of awe. The humans did not attack. They listened. And slowly, a bridge formed, not of stone, not of metal, but of trust. Weeks passed, then months, and Jared never left. He helped raise the first of the new generation. He taught them language, ideas, balance between nature and logic. He helped the hive grow beyond its ancient traditions into something better. Zara ruled beside him, not as a conqueror, but as a queen of life. And as the hive expanded, deep in the golden chambers, a new kind of future was born, one where humans and aliens no longer feared each other, where one man, lost in war, became the father of peace, and the hum of the hive never sang alone again.